So we have just woken up at the weirdest campsite that we have ever stayed at. We're at the Lumsden train station, and as you can probably imagine, it is not running anymore. There's a parking lot on either side of this old railway track where you can freedom camp whether you're self-contained or not, because as you can see, there's toilets here. And funnily enough, it kind of has everything you need, so let me show you this campground before we head on to our next adventure. We got here last night. We were actually surprised by how many people are here. Like, the parking lot is almost full on the one side. There's also this old train here that you can actually walk on, so let's check it out. I don't know if it's just because it's a gloomy day, but it's kind of freaky. I mean, if you know anything about me, I just get kind of freaked out with old things, but it's actually really, really cool. It kind of serves as a museum now. So there's all these facts about the railway on the walls here, and it kind of tells a story. It's very interesting. I always wonder if places like this are haunted. Okay, watch your step. This doesn't have any facts or anything on the wall. It's just the old passenger train. So the seats are obviously kind of ratty and all torn up, but it is so cool. It's so interesting. I almost want to say this is one of my favorite campsites that we've ever stayed at. It even has a place for you to wash your dishes. Like, it's a proper campsite.
It's like completely free. It feels like it should be like a place that you pay for because they've got sinks that you can use and toilets and all of that. Typically you pay for those kind of campsites here in New Zealand. It feels like this is kind of the only attraction in the town. It's like train museum. There's like a cafe, bar, a hotel where we met an interesting local last night. It's kind of quirky, but it's cool. I would definitely recommend coming to stay here if you're tripping through the South Island of New Zealand. It's a very interesting place, Lumsden.
And while it is free, we do recommend making a donation if you can.
There's even a free pillory. It's a pretty big perk. So we just left Lumsden. We're on our way to our next stop. Guy that I met at the hotel last night. He's a much older guy. He was clearly very intoxicated. But Rachel and I were just ordering some fries, and he came over to me and just started talking to me about life and all kinds of different stuff about his life, about my life, about how to live life. At first, he definitely made me pretty uneasy, but after talking to him for a bit, he was actually really sweet. He was just very drunk, but he had some great advice, which was just to treat people with respect, no matter their age, whether they're younger, older, way younger than you, way older than you, just to treat people with respect. I was like, actually, great advice. He's like, that's the best way to go through life, man. I was like, thanks, Brian.
And just like that, we are on the road again. Last week, we actually skipped a video because we went on a pretty super fun adventure to St.Bathan's domain, which is actually like partially a ghost town now. We actually met up with our friends Glenn and Maddo, who run a YouTube channel, and they've been making a lot of New Zealand content. And I know that some of you guys were excited for us to meet up, and we did, and we had a great time. And then I went to edit the vlog, and all of the audio, all of it, I mean all of it, was gone. Sorry.
You just have like a small car.
Definitely not a van. Okay, let's go.
Welcome to the contact area for you to wait, play discreet as well. Don't say any.
We were having problems with our old mic and our old camera. We have a new mic, a new camera. That one kind of hurt the bank account. It sucked to bite that cost, but you're gonna have to check out Glenn and Maddo's video when they eventually post it of all of our trip to St. Bathan's, because our footage is kaputs. Anyways, new day, new adventure. In this week's video, we are going to the Catlins region of New Zealand. Some say it's an underrated region. We'll have to be our own judges on that, but we are really excited. We just saw the coastline for the first time. We've been driving for about an hour and a half since our campsite this morning, and it's been a little while since we've seen the ocean. I have not seen the ocean since we left home in Vancouver, BC back in October. So Nick and I are both Scorpios. We are water signs. We are ocean people. We love the ocean. We've just been driving through tons of farmland, but we're about to be at our first destination pretty soon.
Today we're at the southernmost point of New Zealand. Well, not yet. We're in the parking lot and we're about to walk 20 minutes to get to the southernmost point. So come with us as we walk to Slope Point.
It's so windy. There's a fair amount of people, like nothing compared to busier spots, obviously, like Milford Sound, where you're dealing with hundreds and hundreds of other tourists. Getting there. says it's a 20-minute walk, but I feel like it's just a little bit shorter.
So we are officially at the southernmost part of the South Island of New Zealand, Slope Point. And as I'm sure you can see, it's very windy. There's a lot of very jagged cliffs all around me. And of course, the beautiful ocean, which we missed so much. We're just over 5,100 kilometers from the equator and just over 4,800 kilometers from the South Pole.
These waves crashing are huge. The trees are so windblown that they almost look like they grow this way now. It's funny, they're look like they're falling over.
So we made it to Curio Bay, and this is actually one of the oldest examples of a petrified forest that dates back to the Jurassic era. It's 170 million years old, and this is where dinosaurs would have roamed. And it stretches for about 20 kilometers along this coastline. It's absolutely gorgeous, and if we squint, we may be able to see a penguin.
So today we're on the lookout for yellow-eyed penguins, although we did hear that the best time to try to find them is actually at dusk, because that's when they come back to shore, and it is definitely not dusk. It is early afternoon, so I mean, it's also just so beautiful here. Why not try to go for a nice walk?
It's kind of crazy to think that this is a petrified forest. Before coming here, I hadn't seen what it looked like, so I just assumed when I hear petrified forest, I think of dead trees, but in fact, all of this rock and this whole rock face is the forest. This is all trees and greenery. You can kind of make out some of the trees within the rocks. Basically, I guess what had happened is there was some kind of a natural event that knocked the forest down, and then within a matter of months, everything had turned to stone. It's quite surreal looking at what I view as just rocks and knowing that 170 million years ago, they were all plants.
You can also rent a surfboard, but I don't think we're going to do that. It says that there are surf lessons for $79 per person for 2 hours, and that the Catlins surf shop is open on demand, so you can just text the number at the front if you actually want to rent something, but I don't think we're going to get in that water quite yet.
Dude, there's dolphins right there.
Kind of walked through the campsite because we saw a sign for beach access, but we were way above the beach and we saw dolphins. But now we decided that we'd drive down the road a little bit and make it to the actual beach and see if we can see them a little bit closer up. Although I don't know if they're going to be here anymore.
So we learned that the dolphins that we saw are called Hector's dolphins. Anyways, they are the smallest and rarest dolphins in the world, and they're only found here on New Zealand's coastline. So that's really, really cool, and I'm really happy that we've been able to see them.
It's so cool being at the beach when there's no one on it. The beach is so big and there's no one else here. And the dolphins you can definitely see, but it's kind of hard to capture them on camera because they're only up for a brief moment. And they're so small that they're kind of even hard to catch with your eye, but they're super cute, man. They'll just jump up, doo, and go back in. Oh, it's magical here. It is truly magical here. There's two out there. Oh my god, there's two. Oh, dude, they're right there. We didn't stop at Niagara Falls, okay? So here in the Catlins, there is a waterfall called Niagara Falls, and I'm pretty sure there's a Niagara Falls cafe too. You know what? Love the name, but we're Canadian. I've been to the real Niagara Falls many times. I have a little small hunch that it's not quite even half the size. You know what? To save myself some disappointment, we're gonna do Maclean Falls instead. No hate to the Catlins Niagara Falls, okay? But I think we all know what I mean.
Look at this behind me. It straight up looks like a movie set. This is unbelievable. I've never seen a walk like this before. It looks like Tarzan. It's crazy. This looks like a tropical rainforest, but the air is really cool. There's no humidity here. Anytime that I'm in a climate like this, I expect to be sweating and monkeys to be stealing all my shit. But there's no monkeys here, and it's gorgeous. I could have probably worn a sweater. Holy shit. This is insane. I thought those waterfalls down below were supposed to be it. This is wild. Oh my God.
We drove to Cathedral Caves and it was actually closed, and it said that it was going to be open back at 10:45 tomorrow. I don't know if there's set times every day or if it's just because it's high tide and you're only really supposed to visit at low tide, but we were starting to get really nervous because we're like between half a tank and a quarter tank, and obviously our vehicle is a V8 and uses quite a bit of gas. And we're starting to get nervous going like, oh my God, we haven't seen a single gas station since we got to the Catlins, like not a single one. But we've just now pulled into this town of Papatoe, and it seems like there's a little shop. I don't know if that is a gas station. Okay, so it looks like there's a little grocery store, and hopefully we will be saved because we were starting to get like, we have no service, getting low on gas. I read a couple blogs before we came here, but none of them said to bring a jerry can, so. Yeah, 91 in diesel.
I prepaid $130 and it took all of it. So 45 liters. Sandwich. Oh. It's not a gas station. It's like a country store. They've got all these good little sandwiches and all these like fancy treats and stuff. So.
And they even have the Whitaker's oat milk.
Whoa. All right, we were at between half and a quarter tank. Let's see how much $130 in gas gets us. The tank like slowly fills up, so it doesn't just like shoot up to the top.
I don't know, babes. Looks like it's stopping there. Slowly going up, and don't mind the check engine light, y'all. We don't want to talk about it. We just got to our campsite and Nick is immediately wanting to jump in the water. It's gonna be cold, hun. Guys, look at this campsite. This is crazy. I can't believe you're planning on getting... It's so cold. Nick, it's so cold. Okay, final last words?
Burr. Like when a wave comes, I'm gonna jump into it and jump out.
Okay.
It's fucking really cold. Wherever that water's coming from is not the ocean. The ocean's not nearly that cold.
Yeah, well, even my feet were in it. It felt
it's like nice. Like it's really not that bad at all. I actually feel great. Oh yeah!
No!
Come
on! So we have this Moroccan style, I can almost smell it through the bag, this one pan couscous. And so it has chickpeas and vegetable stock and capsicum and zucchini. Just gonna make some tofu, which I'm actually gonna fry up first. I find sometimes when I make like a couscous or quinoa or something like that, it sticks to the pan, and I'm just really not gonna take that risk tonight. So I'm gonna make the tofu first, put that in a bowl, get the couscous ready. That's gonna be our dinner. Nothing crazy, I said that. We also just have a little bit of tapatio tonight, baby. Okay. And we had to switch out for our other stove because our coffee stove because we ran out of butane. Like, what is this? Amateur hour?
Well, this guy's moving.
It's almost like we didn't do 3 years of van life. There's the cooking noises. That's what people have been waiting for. Okay, that meal was weirdly good. The pre-made Moroccan, what was it, couscous? Really good. I feel like that's gonna be our go-to. It was almost like curried and a little bit spicy and just delicious. Anyways, as you can see, it's not been a very sunny day, and now the sun that we did have is setting. I feel like there's so many things on my bucket list that we still didn't do today, and so we're gonna get back to it in the morning. For now, we'll leave you here, and thank you so much for joining us this week. We are so grateful for you always, and we will see you in the next video. Okay.